In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to set up antivirus exclusions for both the grid variance analysis program and also the ultimate real estate feasibility study program. The first thing we need to do is to know exactly where the files and folders are that we want to exclude. Now, if you've installed the grid variance program, just go to the Windows menu, scroll down to grid variance analysis, and execute a program called compatibility test. And this will give you a message which will tell you exactly where those files are located, both in terms of the excel.exe file and also the grid variance analysis folder. This information is also included in the installation instructions, but in some cases it may vary. Once you know the location of the file and the folders, then all you need to do is just exit the compatibility test and we're ready to get started. Many of you, like me, will have a third-party antivirus program installed. Now, I have Norton 360 installed. Some of you will have other programs like McAfee, Trend Micro, AVG, Avast. There's a vast array of these third-party antivirus programs available today. Now, I can't hope to demonstrate all of them. I'm going to demonstrate two. I'm going to demonstrate the program that I have installed, which is Norton 360, and I'm also going to demonstrate how you set up Windows Defender, which is installed on all Windows machines by default. If you have a reputable third-party antivirus program installed, then this step will be unnecessary. You do not need to set up exclusions in Windows Defender if you have a third-party product installed. Now, to demonstrate just exactly how to set up Windows Defender, just go down to the program bar for Windows, type in security and execute Windows Security, then go to virus and threat protection. Now, the first thing that appears on my screen is that it's telling me that I've got Norton 360 installed and it's the active antivirus program. But nevertheless, it will still allow me to add the exclusions to Windows Defender. But bear in mind that I don't need to do this if Norton is active. So if you see this, this particular message or anything like it to suggest that you've got a third-party product installed, then you don't need to go any further with Windows Defender. But if Windows Defender is your default antivirus program, then you need to set up exclusions. What we need to do now is just scroll down to Virus and Threat Protection Settings and go to Manage Settings. And then we need to make sure that real-time protection is off. Unfortunately, with Windows Defender, if real-time protection is on, then it ignores the exclusions. I find this to be a little bit annoying, but nevertheless, it is a requirement for Windows Defender. And for that reason, I don't recommend it. Going down to exclusions, we just say add or remove exclusions, and at this point we need to add an exclusion for the folder, the grid variance and UREFs folders, and also for the excel.exe program. The first thing I'm going to do is to add the folders that I need to add. So I'm just going to click on add an exclusion, click on folder, and at this point I just go to my C drive, users, my username is Bones. Then I scroll down to Documents, and down in Documents I'll find Grid Variance Analysis, and this is the Grid Variance Analysis folder. I just highlight it and say Select Folder. Click Yes, and that exclusion is now added. Now I'm going to add an exclusion for the US Feasibility Study folder. Just do exactly the same thing. It'll be in the same location still. UREF's Feasibility Program, just, go back one, just highlight this, highlight that, say select folder, and it's added. Now the next one that I need to know or need to add is a little bit more complicated because it's a program and it has a .exe file extension. Before I do this, I'm just going to display any folder. I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to make sure that File Name Extensions is ticked as on. If this is not on, then it will be difficult to find the .exe file correctly. So make sure this is on, and then go back to your exclusions, say add exclusions, add a file. Under no circumstances should you add the folder that this file is contained in. You must be very, very careful about that and only exclude the actual file. We'll go back to the beginning, go back to, now we need to search for it. We should know what the location is from the previous message that we got from compatibility test. In my case, it's in program files, Microsoft Office, root, Office 16 in my case, and I scroll down to xl.exe. Just highlight the file, click open, and it's added. Now at this point, all of the exclusions that I need to add for Windows Defender are added. So long as real-time protection is turned off, which it should be, we can just exit from here now, and the grid variance and feasibility study program should run without any difficulty. Now I'm just going to continue by doing exactly the same thing in Norton 360 because this is the antivirus program that I've chosen to use. That's not a recommendation. There are many, many programs that are perfectly good that you can use. They all are in some ways a little bit different. So I expect that if you've installed a third-party product that you will know how to use it correctly, and you will need to find out how and where you need to add these exclusions. Now just before we continue with Norton 360, Norton 360 is a little bit unusual in that it allows you to set up exclusions in two different places, not only for routine scans of the files on your system, but also for real-time protection, so that anytime you go to a website or anytime you open a file, real-time protection will check to make sure that the files are safe and warn you of this any threat. So in Norton in particular and some other programs, you need to set up the antivirus exclusions in two different places. Now in Norton, I just go to Settings, go to Antivirus, Scans and Risks, scroll down to Items to Exclude from Scans, press Configure. Now in this case, I want to add a folder, and I'll click the Browse button, go to my desktop C, scroll down to Users. It's exactly the same location as I had before. Bones 00, Documents, and under Documents I'll find Grid Variance Analysis, click OK, OK again, add another folder now. Unfortunately it goes back to the start, so we just have to repeat this, which is a little bit annoying. Go to Users, Bones, and Documents, scroll down to URF's feasibility study program, press OK and OK. Then we want to add a file, and in this particular case we want to go to Program Files, Microsoft Office, root, Office 16, scroll down again to xl.exe, and at this point we've added the folders for our scan exclusions. Just click Apply, go back to OK. Now we have to repeat that process for items to exclude from Auto Protect. I'm not going to repeat that here now. It's just a waste of time, but you just go into Configure, and what you're doing now is configuring real-time exclusions, and you add the same files and the same folders. And once you've done that, Norton 360 is set up and the program should execute without any difficulty. As you can see, it's not a particularly difficult task, but it does need to be done, and it does need to be done accurately. If you get these things wrong, then the program is likely to fail, for the simple reason that the antivirus software will treat it as a threat. It will possibly quarantine it or bar it from running. So make sure to get it right. Thank you.